What's up, y'all, and welcome back to Seton Hill Studios. Hope you're having an amazing day out there so far. Today, we are checking out Jeff Buckley and the song Mojo Pin, live from Chicago in 1995. If you don't know much about Jeff Buckley, you've definitely been missing out. He was probably one of the most talented musicians and vocalists to ever walk the face of the planet. Extremely unique, powerful voice with some of the best vocal control I've ever heard. Also a phenomenal, very unique writer, as well as a great guitar player. Unfortunately, we lost him way too young. I was introduced to him probably, I don't know, 20 or so years ago when I was a teenager, with the Grace record, which is what this song is from. I've actually never seen him live, so I'm super excited to get to see him perform this one live. If I remember correctly, this is the song with some of the craziest vocal runs I've ever heard, and so I'm super excited to see him pull it off live. But before we get going, a few ways you guys can continue to support the channel. Right down below, if you haven't already, you can hit that subscribe button. It's an easy and free way to show some love. You can also head on over to Patreon and become a member there. If that doesn't work for you, right here on YouTube, you can become a channel member. Both of those are going to get you access to priority requests, as well as other perks and features. And then, as always, with a one-time donation through Buy Me a Coffee, you can get a guaranteed request that either Steven or I will check out right here on the channel. All right, y'all, let's get into it. All right, folks, here we go. Jeff Buckley with a live version of Mojo Pin in Chicago in 1995. I'm super excited to hear his take on this live. I know he's going to blow us away. He hit him with the so he could tune. Dynamic control, man. So super simple guitar riff there. He's just arpeggiating out a chord. Only one note really is changing, and he's doing a pull off back into the original note. But it's really laying a bed for his vocal work just to shine right out of the gate. His vocal control to me is darn near unmatched. I mean, it's just wild what he can do and how he slips in and out of these different ranges, as well as just the phrasing and what he's doing. Because, again, he's just playing over one chord, so it kind of creates a cool bed to do a lot of different kind of runs. As long as you land back in that kind of safe zone, you can really do whatever you want. And he's taking full advantage of it. Just some awesome stuff there. He, the dynamic control, I mentioned it a second ago, is just wild. How he can go from super soft and breathy to just this powerhouse voice in an instant, and then just kind of slip in and out of it all. I love it. He was so incredibly talented. Oh, ooh.
I'm lying in my bed. Blanket is warm, this body will never be safe from harm. I still feel your hair, black ribbons of coal touch my skin to keep me whole.
And then there's this huge contrast there, right? When he comes in with the actual melody line of the song after all these brilliant vocal runs, it's not completely monotone, but it's significantly more straightforward than the vocal runs that he was doing. And so it creates this immediate contrast with what we just heard into this really static, almost, darn close to monotone vocal line there. And then at the end, we get a little bit of it kind of leading us back in. And then the band comes in right there with a super cool groove. I'm going to take it back a couple seconds so we can hear it. But dude was just a genius writer, man. He was really incredible. Almost like a jazzy thing on the drums.
Well, if only you come back to me, feel it at my side. I wouldn't need no Mojo Pin to keep me satisfied. I don't wanna weep for you, don't wanna know. I'm blind and tortured, the white horses flow. The memories fire, the rhythms fall slow. Black beauty, I love you so.
Oh my. Hey, he's as good live as he was on the record, man. He might be better live than he was on the record. Oh my gosh, man. This song is so unique. You got this, simple riff and a monotone verse, and then the band comes in and it almost turns it jazzy. And then he completely changes up the verse melody, and it's got a ton of flavor to it. It's no longer kind of a monotone thing. And then almost just like a grungy rock chorus. I just never, when I was listening to this record as a teenager, I could not predict what was going to happen. And that was odd for me. Because, a lot of, I wouldn't even necessarily call this like pop music at all, but a lot of the popular music and things that I was listening to at that time, it was so predictable. It was so just very straightforward. And he was one of the first artists that, as I'm listening, he was just constantly throwing me for a loop, and I never knew it was going to happen. And that was so exciting. I'm excited about it now. Just remembering this and hearing it again after like 20 years or so. But he just kept you guessing. You just never knew what he was going to do. He was just genius, man. On top of the talent, it was like that there was genius in the writing and the approach and everything as well. And he had the talent to bring it to life and back it up. Oh my goodness.
Precious, precious silver and gold, and pearls and oysters flesh. Drop down we two to serve and pray to love. Born again from the rhythm, screaming down from heaven. Ageless, ageless, and I'm there in
see what I'm talking about? Who would have expected? You expected maybe a bigger chorus because they got bigger. They made it a little more rock. But who would have expected that section with those hits and the snare build? Like, it was just out of left field, but it worked. And then the vocal run there, I remember, like, distinctly remember the first time that I heard him do that on the record. I was literally in awe, like completely just flabbergasted, like how did he control his voice like that? And even now it's different. I distinctly remember what it sounded like on the record, but what he did there was, it was not the same as the record, but it was still so good. And the purpose of live music is not to, at least as far as I'm concerned, is not to come out and try to play a carbon copy of the record. I love when artists deviate and do little things, little nuances that just make it different and make it more of a live feel. Gosh, there was so much grit when he just ripped that first note out, and then how he just transitioned out into this soft, breathy, intimate kind of ending for it. He was just incredible, man. I want to go back and hear that entire section again, that little bit of the chorus, and then I may have gone back too far, but I want to hear into that section with the build and the hits. That was just, whoo, and then just capped off by that vocal run. It's just, what a section, man.
The memory is fire, the rhythms were slow. Black beauty, I love you so.
Dude, the dynamics of this band and the way that they follow him is crazy. I mean, they just naturally just faded out on their own the way that you would expect to hear it on like a record. But they were just like, their touch and their dynamics to follow him like that and bring it completely down there. It's not a simple thing to do, and they were very in it together. So it's not like, oh well, the bass is coming down in one velocity and the drums are coming down. Like, they were super tight in how they drew all that back. And then his vocal stuff is, God bless, man. I want to listen to that again. I want to hear not that entire section, but just some of those vocal runs, and then how the band really draws that back. That was just, I don't know. That kind of stuff impresses me. I think that's super cool because that is not completely adjusting, the way you're attacking the drums or how you're picking or, how you're plucking the bass, like, and to do that in tandem like that and for them to be that tight that's super impressive to me. What a great band.
You, I've waited my life to see. It's you I've searched so hard for. Don't wanna wait for you. Don't wanna know. I'm blind and searching for white horses flow. The memories fire, the rhythms for
Oh man, just as they were ramping up for the end there, that video just cut off abruptly, and I couldn't find another video that had the ending on it. If it exists out there, somebody link it to me because I want to see how it ends. Because God bless, they amped it up at the end there. They went like full grunge rock, and I loved it. I was grooving, and the video just cut off. Man, it's like, golly, we've been building to this entire moment, the whole song, and then boom, just gone. So unfortunate. But man, there was a lot of other stuff in there that was just wild. Like I said from the jump, his vocal control has always baffled me. It's legitimately blown me away. I I don't know that I've ever heard anyone control their voice the way that he does. And his voice is so unique. It can be so soft, so intimate, so breathy. Um, and then he can just pull out the grit, and just, it sounded like his vocal cords were going to explode in some of those bigger sections. He's such a good writer too. I don't know how much influence on the writing the band that he had with him played a part in, or if he wrote everything himself, or if it was producers in the studio, whatever. To me, it's irrelevant. But what a great tune. It literally just kept me guessing the whole time. When I first heard that song, it literally, it was like every section felt like it was coming out of left field, to me. And I was a young musician at the time, but he left a lasting impression on me. I mean, I'm still talking about him, 20, almost 30 years later. But yeah, I didn't realize how good his band was, I think, until I really saw him live. Like, I knew, the stuff they were doing in the studio was good. It was played well, executed well, written well, but hearing them pull it off live, the sound of the drums, the dynamics, the tightness of the band, back in 95 when there wasn't really, in-ear monitors or click tracks or anything like that. They were just together. And he was leading them well. They were watching him the whole time like a hawk. Which is another facet of just how talented Jeff Buckley really was. Man, there's not a lot of times where I'm like, man, this live performance might have been better than the record, but that one, I think that might have been better than the record, because that was a killer performance all around from Jeff Buckley specifically with the vocals, but the band crushed it as well. Just a phenomenal performance. I'm super bummed that it cut off abruptly like that, and I couldn't find an ending to kind of tag on to the end of the reaction there. If anybody has it, link it to me, because I'd love to see it. Super unfortunate that it got cut off like that. All right, y'all. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so every time we drop new content, you guys can be made aware. And as always, we'll see you on the next one.